Rent roll growth isn't just about marketing for new doors. Stay with me and I'll explain how you can grow your property management business and increase your profit without any new data. I'm Adam Hooley and welcome to my YouTube channel, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you'll get notified when all my new content comes along. Today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how we can use your existing databases to build your rent roll business from using an internal sales process that I'm going to go through today. Now, a lot of businesses are doing this today and it's becoming more common practice than you think. But what it is, it's leveraging a sales team to work directly in your property management business. Now, this is slightly different to a conventional brokerage business where you'll have a sales business that's kind of working alongside your property management business. This is more about employing a salesperson or a broker directly into your property management business to solely work for you and manage your data. So let's work through some data that's going to point us in the right direction. Up to 20% of the owners in your existing rent roll could be looking at buying in the next 12 months. So particularly if you're in an area that are running core investors that are keen to build their wealth portfolio. Now, on the flip side of that is you have probably somewhere up to 10%, anywhere between 5 to 10% of your owners wanting to sell in your rent roll over the next 12 months. So what you've actually done is you've actually created your own supply and demand issue inside your property management business. You've got more owners that are wanting to buy than you have wanting to sell. So let's work out how we can move with that dynamic and grow our business. So let's look at number one. Number one is what we want to do is, as I mentioned before, we want to employ a real estate salesperson or a broker that's dedicated to our rent roll. So that's the first step. Now what they're going to do is they're going to work very closely with your property management business and the data coming out of your rent roll today. So the first task they're going to do is you're going to have them build an intimate relationship with every single landlord in your database that's currently doing business with you today. Now what they're going to be able to do with that is they're going to be able to narrow down every single landlord that's looking at moving in the next 12 months, whether it's going to be buying or whether it's going to be selling. And they're going to be ready for those particular landlords when they go to the market. And two things is going to happen. So let's look at those two things. So step number three, if they're interested in selling, what we're going to do is we're going to package up those properties and we're going to sell them to our own landlords. Remember, we've got 10% of people that are selling and we've got 20% of people that are probably looking at buying. So in actual fact, we probably have more people in our rent roll looking at buying than selling. So if we have an intimate relationship with those landlords, we're going to know exactly when they want to sell their property. We're not going to find out when an opposition agent goes through and does a market appraisal, or we're not going to find out when the property goes on the market. We now hold the relationship with that particular vendor and they're going to come directly to us when they want to sell. So what we're going to do is we're going to package up that property. So the things that investors want to know about, things like how much does the property rent for? Are the tenants good? Is the maintenance low? How does it sit in the market? These are all the things that you now have a proven history of in these particular properties because you've been managing them. So you can tell your owners that exact data. It's not guesswork. So package those properties up and market them back into your own rent roll and don't allow them to hit the open market. That way you're going to retain the management, you're going to retain the asset for your business, and you're also going to earn sales commission. So you're going to increase the profit on your bottom line. So let's look at number four. Number four is if they're actually wanting to buy. Now, if they're wanting to buy and you don't have any properties that suit them available in your existing rent roll that you're currently marketing, then you can act as a buyer's agent and you can go out to the open market and you can source properties for these particular buyers. Now, this could happen one of two ways, is that they potentially could go to the market and buy without you. But if you have a close relationship with them, you can refer your growth sales team to them and they can be providing market appraisals on any properties that they're looking at that may be outside your area. And potentially you can then retain that management anyway. So one of two things, they're actually going to buy the property with you as a buyer's agent, or they're going to buy the property through another agent, but because they have such a strong relationship with you, they're going to bring the management straight back to you. So again, you get to a new management, you get rent roll growth out of this because you've got new management coming into your business, plus you're also going to retain some referral or buyer's agent commission for that property coming back into your business. So let's look at number 5. Now number 5 is the key to this whole framework, is you have an entire database of owners that are looking to do this. What you probably don't understand, or maybe it just hasn't tweaked yet, is that you have an entire database of tenants that are also probably doing this. So statistics say that you could have up to 30% of your tenants that currently either own an investment property or they're looking to buy an investment property in the next 12 months. Now it is very common, particularly with the millennials and the younger generation, to buy properties and not live in them because they can't afford to. So they buy them as investment properties and they continue to live in share housing with their friends. Particularly those types of people, but also you've got lots of other people that are renting from you that are looking to buy for the first time, and you want to stay in touch with those people. So imagine taking that framework you've just rolled out to all your landlords and now rolling that out to the tenants. So you can do a run through and shortlist your tenants, get a good understanding on who's just a tenant and going to remain a tenant, and who's actually interested in buying or actually currently have their own management. I've come across many times where I've rented a property to somebody and they're actually moving out of their own property because they want to move across the other side of town or something like that, or they want to move into a bigger property because they're starting a family, and it's given me the opportunity to then rent out their own home. So definitely don't forget about your tenants. They could be looking at upsizing as well. So let's review that quite quickly. Number 1, we want to employ a dedicated salesperson, real estate salesperson into our property management business. Now we're not talking about a broker that's currently doing sales and they're going to flitter in and flitter out. We want this person sitting with our property management team, working only our property management data. Now number 2 is we're going to build intimate relationships with all the owners, all the landlords in our current rent roll. Now that salesperson is going to be able to then shortlist all the owners that are looking at buying and all the owners that are looking at selling in the next 12 months and stay very close to people to make sure they can facilitate that transaction. So if we're going to facilitate buys internally, what we're going to do is we're going to be taking any sales that are coming internally from the rent roll and we're trying to recycle them and sell them back into the rent roll to our existing landlords that are currently looking at buying. Now remember, we're going to make sales commission on that, plus we're also going to keep the management. Now that's saving attrition, which is actually a form of growth into the rent roll. So anywhere where you can reduce the attrition in your rent roll is actually a form of growth at the end of the day. It's a net growth. Also, we're going to facilitate externally those people that want to buy that we can't accommodate and we don't have a property that suits them currently inside the business. So we're going to go outside the business into the open market and we're going to work as a buyer's agent and we're going to source those properties for those particular owners. Again, we're going to get that management. That's a form of growth for the rent roll because that's now a new management to the rent roll. And also we're going to make a small commission on that, whether it be a buyer's commission or some sort of referral commission we're going to get from the selling agent. And also number 5, don't forget to include the tenants in this process. Now this particular broker or sales agent is going to be making a lot of phone calls and building a lot of relationships, and that's why they really need to be dedicated to this business, because managing all your landlords is going to be a full-time job. But imagine introducing the tenants into this framework as well, then you've got a lot more people that you need to be ringing and building relationships with. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you for watching my channel. Don't forget, if you need me, reach out to me at adamhooley.com. And also don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel so you can get all my new content as it drops. And good luck with growing your property management business. I'm Adam Hooley. Talk again soon.